Alrighty, guys, welcome to this week's swing trading live stream. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day today. Now, in today's live stream, we are going to be talking about swing trading, how to grow that small account, how to get started with a good strategy. So I hope you guys all enjoy this. If you guys do, hit that like button and subscribe. And like I always say, right, if you're making $1 a day with that small account, the only thing that's separating you from making more money isn't your strategy. It's just your account size. So you got to stay the course, be consistent, and before you know it, you guys will be there. So I hope you guys all enjoy it. If you do, hit that like button and subscribe. And if you guys want to learn more about swing trading, check out our school. It's fantastic. Private live streams, quizzes, lectures, group chat, all that good stuff. And you guys can get 20% off by using code YouTube. Only 2 spots left for that code. So click that link, sign up, and let's jump into this here. So, all right. So this past week here, we did take couple of new trades, some good. Obviously, this one here isn't panning out as what we would hope, but we'll talk about this one here first, and then we'll review some of our trades if that sounds good. So the first thing that I do here for establishing if I should enter is I go to the daily time frame. Going to the daily time frame is one of the most important things, you know, a trader can do because it will help with just overall trend direction. And let me pull up this thing here real quick. So, you know, I look at the daily time frame. I'll also try to draw out like some trends, and that's kind of what I drew out here. You guys can see the tendencies of getting a bunch of support here. Boom, you know, buying pressure, buying pressure. So in an ideal situation, in order for me to classify it like a support on the trend, I want a minimum of 3 touches of buying pressure. So here we have, let me pull this back up. Okay. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So obviously it's more than 3. So I had a high indication we could get some buying pressure out of this just because of the overall trend. Also, you know, before I ever enter a stock as well, I want to see what the moving average lines are. So I pull them up, and you guys can see we have 3. We have the red, the blue, and the yellow here. So these moving average lines act as trend indication, and they also act as support and resistance. So you guys can see in the past, right, where it hits these lines, and we have buying pressure here, we have buying pressure here, you know, we have almost one here, here. So a lot of the points of support are going to be moving average lines. Now, what we've seen here is this stock hit that 200-day moving average line. Now, it also was undervalued on that RSI, which is the relative strength index, trading for a 20 on the RSI. So the last time it was trading for a 20 was back in here where we had a great move. So, you know, as you start to realize, like with trading, it's never just like one indicator. It's never just one support line. Like the more you have in your favor, the better off your strategy is going to work, your approach, all that good stuff. So, you know, with this stock here, the hourly time frame, we're keeping our stop loss a little bit below it, near and below like the high 75 mark, right in this range. So this is kind of my thought process. You guys can see the good tendencies of support, and the stock honestly just started getting more sell-off today just because kind of like the general market is selling off, right? If we look at like the S&P 500 here, like, look at this, right? We're seeing a huge amount of sell-off here. Some sectors better than others, but overall, you know, the majority of the S&P is down. So this will cause, you know, 1%. These are good moves for the indexes. So this will cause a lot of small cap companies to get sell-off. So that's kind of why we're getting some sell-off out of this. So now let's see here. So entering, you know, we entered on the support. We're keeping our stop loss about 2%, so about here, for a possible push up to like 89. So it's still a really, really good risk and reward there. But, you know, we're just letting this pan out. Hopefully in the next couple of days, we can get some buying pressure out of this stock because it's actually been really, really good. So now here you go, okay, Carter, you threw so much at me. Yes, I did. Right off the get-go. You know, if you guys are watching this and you're like, okay, I wanna start, what should I do? I would highly recommend like developing like a checklist. So, grab like a notebook or your trading journal, whatever it is, and you want to start writing out your kind of like your approach. So, for me at least, it's stock on an upward trend on the daily time frame. So, like this, I want it going in that upper right hand corner of the screen. So that good upward trend. Next thing, support. I want it on a support line. So the support here was the trend and the moving average lines. We had two, which is just a higher indication, which is good. Then I also want to know the RSI. The RSI is on my list, right? I want it undervalued on the RSI. The next thing is earnings. I never want to hold through an earnings report. I know it's not coming up. The next thing, going to a lower time frame. I'm trying to find some sort of support, some sort of breakout, something that I can get in on and feel a support level or breakout in a direction. So like here, if we zoom out, right? Good downward trend. You can see the huge trend line here. It's almost using that blue line here as resistance. So now I thought we could get some buying pressure above it. That's kind of what we did. I thought the next resistance was the 200-day, which kind of it was. So now we're seeing if we can get a little curl going up this way. That's kind of the thought process I have with this, right? Looking at as much information as you can is very, very important. All right. So now here, let's talk about some of our more recent swing trades. We took a trade. Let me pull up my trading journal here. There we go. All right, so this is our trading journal. Our weekly overview here is $1,670. And our first trade is GNRC. GNRC here was a stock that we took a nice position with. GNRC. GNRC here, the approach that I had was very, very simple. Looking at the daily, you guys will notice it's very similar to that other one we traded. Good upward trend, right, as you guys can see. Heavy support on that 200-day moving average line. It also was undervalued on that RSI. Now, if we look at the hourly, right, you guys can see it had still heavy support in this range right here. Also had a downward trend like this about here. So now if we remove these moving average lines, you can see the downward trend, okay, the support level, the great breakout, and then it just fell below the trend, so we got out of the position. This is what you guys got to do. This move might not seem like much, but if you guys can make 3% a month, you're better than 95% of all traders in the world. So you just got to understand that small returns add up to a lot over the course of a year or two, So this was the first trade we took. Another trade we took was on ticker symbol ENB. ENB here was another play that worked out really, really well. Look, let's pull it up. You guys will notice. Heavy support instead on that 200-day moving average line. It was on that 90-day. Resistance up here at 44. Hit that level, moved up, looked at the hourly, great breakout, missed the approach here, but got in up here on that confirmation of support here, which is always good here. So now the stock sold off, kind of hit actually some nice support on that 90-day moving average line, but we got out. We got out of the trade, broke below our stop loss, and we just took profit. Yes, it could rally back up to 45, 50, whatever it is, but it hit resistance. We got some sell off, and I just wanted to get out of the trade profitable, and we're up $1,600 in 1 week in literally 5 days of trading. So those are the positions that we took, right? And you guys will notice like most of them are very, very, very similar. And that's completely fine. I'm somebody where I would rather be an expert on 1 or 2 or 3 strategies rather than try to know every swing trading strategy, but like be not very good at it, right? So I'd rather be an expert at 1 than okay at 10. All right. So now here, opportunity-wise, what we've seen is actually a lot of great moves. PAA We talked about this stock, how well this thing worked, and honestly, just kind of missed the boat on this one. And that's going to happen, right? Look at this. Great trend line breakout. Stock's rallying its way up. Everything is looking great. Went from 17 to almost $19 a share, over $19 a share. And it's just been working out really, really well. You guys will notice, very similar, 200-day moving average line approach, upward trend, undervalued RSI. Now you're starting to get the hang of it. Okay, well, if I want to enter, I got to be very, very selective on what I choose. All right, so now here we have CWAN. This one here, we've traded in the past. Let's remove these. Had good buying pressure, and now it's just kind of starting to sell off. You guys can see that clear trend, that downward trend on the daily time frame. So for me to be interested, we would want to get some sort of breakout in that direction, or some sort of push above that 200-day moving average line at about 27.80. So now you throw an alert. I already have an alert up there, so if it does pop up, we're ready to rock and roll. Another play here, this one just has that hard support here at 110, moved up to 114, kind of just didn't really hit a moving average line, more of what looks like a trend line. Yeah, nice little trend line there. So that's going to happen, right? Moving average lines don't work with every stock. Every stock almost has like their own personality to it. This is a new one here. This is Zillow. And actually Zillow does look very, very, very interesting here. We have that nice trend line. As you can see, 1, 2, 3 points of buying pressure. Now, hourly wise, if we zoom out, right? Zoom out, you can see that general downward trend, right? Just like this. So for me, we would want to like see this stock start flattening out, right? Start flattening out this way. Then we could get in on some sort of support level, because sometimes what happens is the stock will immediately just one day poof, break up, which is good. And then you almost want it to kind of retouch and come back down and find some sort of support in this range so you can get in, not when it's up like 10% in a day and you know you're going to get sell off that next day. But Zillow is definitely a good one. And for everyone in the group, I'll take a screenshot of this and I'll post it in there for you guys. SILV, another great trade on that 200-day moving average line. PPL, this one here is kind of starting to get a little consolidation. When the stocks are above these moving average lines, you guys can see the great support that they offer. But when they sell off, you can see they act as resistance where it hits and we have selling pressure. So we're just continuing to let this one rally here. Another one here that hasn't been doing super good. Another great one here on a trend. Another one here that's approaching that 200-day moving average line. Popped up a little bit, went from 115, 114, high at 118, 119, sold off a little bit, but not like a 10 out of a 10 trade, because we haven't had that good breakout. So we could see that in the next couple of days. Hopefully a trend forms here soon. TTD, great trade. One of you guys actually talked to me about this one, and they got in on this breakout here. Stock rallied up. They exited on that move. Great trade and paid off well for them. FULT broke out, little false breakout, which in the past you guys can see it happen. So we weren't very confident with this. It's kind of why we didn't get in on it. Daily's kind of mixed. I would like to get in at like $17.90, right in that range, $18. PH, another one that's kind of going flat. Carvana, Netflix here. Netflix here actually does look relatively decent. It sold off today pretty big, about 3% or so. Now you can see this would have been actually a really nice short approach. Would have been right here on that breakdown of this, but we'll see here what happens in the next couple of days with this one, if a new trend can form or something. So we'll keep it on watch. And we've just seen a lot of volatility in the market the past couple of days. So this one here, BL and D. Yeah, not other than that, that's pretty much it for opportunity wise, and that's going to happen, right? But today, if we go to our scanner, we could find there's probably so many stocks just because of the volatility. Yeah, look at all these on our scanner. So now as you run through them, we'll go to what I always do, I go to the daily and I want to just see how the stocks are reacting to like moving average lines. So we'll just kind of go through it relatively quick. So something like that, you can see this long wick right here. That's buying pressure. So there could be some sort of move in that direction, but we'll leave it off for now. Throw this one. I think this one we have on watch. Nope, we'll throw this one on watch here too. And I'm also going to go through and I'm going to thin out some of the other ones that don't carry as much potential. So what I'm doing is very simple. Finding a stock that's approaching that 200-day moving average line with an undervalued RSI. That's all I'm doing. And it doesn't have, like this one's Z is already on watch. So it's not, trading isn't this glorious thing. A lot of my time spent doing this. Have that one on watch. See something like that? Approaching that 200-day moving average line, I definitely would throw that on watch. Look at that daily, see what happens there. Verizon. But yeah, this is how you grow a small account trading, is just building that strategy, building that checklist, and just being consistent with your trades. A lot of people think it's this glorious thing. In reality, it's just being consistent. If you're 3% a month, you're better than 95% of traders. So just keep that in the back of your head. See, something like that looks good. Chipotle. Let's see. Hourly. Yeah, something like that's not too bad. We'll throw this on watch. Amazon. Heavy support here at 218 for Amazon. Let's see what the daily looks like. Yeah, it's still stair-stepping its way down. Sony. Colgate. Yeah, look at this trend. A little bit off, but still. New York Times. We've traded that one in the past too. And this is what a lot of traders do. It's nothing too crazy, but we'll end it here, guys. I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. That's how you grow a small account. A lot of people think it's this huge, crazy thing, when in reality, it's just being consistent, working on your approach, and continuing to adapt and learn and build that checklist out. So, guys, I hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys